Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be trying some new makeup together. I recently got some PR and I saved it all up so we could try it on together on screen so you guys can see my first impressions and just like my initial thoughts on the products. So let's get started. The first product is the Makeup Forever HD Skin Balancing and Perfecting Foundation. So I attended the launch event for this foundation and what I learned about it is that it's supposed to replace every single foundation you currently have in your possession, because it's supposed to balance your skin no matter the skin type. So if you have oilier skin, it's supposed to control your oils. If you have drier skin, it's not going to dry you out and it's not going to accentuate dry patches. So I thought we'd try this out together. I have the shade 104W. I just did 1.5 pumps on the back of my hand and you can see the texture is a little runny, but it's not too liquidy, like it's not going to immediately just drip down my hand. But I'm just going to try a little bit of this on one side of my face. I did try this when I was at the event, but they only tried it on like my jaw portion because I had my entire makeup done already, so they weren't able to try it all over my face. The coverage seems to be buildable. Okay, this shade match is actually pretty good. One of my biggest skin concerns is just oil control because I do get quite shiny in my T-zone area, especially throughout the day. So maybe I'll have to do a little bit of a wear test. And I'll let you know in the description how this wears throughout the day. Before I do the other side, I'll just show you what this side is looking like. I think my skin looks very perfected. It's definitely not as glowy as I usually prefer my base product to be. It has kind of like a natural soft matte finish, and you can definitely build up the coverage. Do you see how that just covered up that spot right here? I have some redness. Oh, I have some redness on my nose. Oh my. So I want to cover that up. Yeah, that just covered it completely. And then let's see if I can cover up this spot right here a little more. Yeah. So coming up close, you can just see the finish on my skin. It definitely looks really natural. And this is the side that's bare. The shade match is actually perfect. So I'm just going to finish up this other side. My favorite way to apply foundation is adding little dots like this. I know some people feel like you end up using more product when you're applying foundation like this, but I don't know why. For me, this is the way that works for me. And I just like to stipple it on with a fluffy brush. If I want more coverage, I'll use a more dense brush. It's actually picking up a little bit of dryness on my nose. I don't know if that's coming across on camera, which is not ideal, but we'll see, because sometimes foundations look like this on my skin and then by the time I apply powder and the rest of my products, it kind of just like seamlessly melts in. So let's just see what happens. Foundation is all right. It's not blowing my socks off. Next, we're going to be going in with the Vive Silhouette Stick. This is their contour stick. I love the brand Vive. I've been following Jamie Genevieve for the longest time. I'm just going to put this in the places that I want to sculpt, a little under my lip, and then I'm going to take an angled brush. This one's from Fenty Beauty, and I'm just going to blend it out. I've already been using this for about like 2 weeks now maybe, and I really like it. It's a lot more creamy than the contour stick I was using before, and the shade is this perfect like cool toned chiselly shadowy shade, so it really just looks like a natural shadow. I love using it for my nose contour as well, just because the shade is actually very believable. It doesn't look like I contoured my nose. Like, look at that shadow. It looks so natural. Hi, Editing Elizabeth here. I am currently editing this video and I'm noticing that my right eye, left on screen, but right eye is like so red in the corner and I don't know why. It's probably when I was like putting in my contacts, something irritated my eye and I just didn't notice, but I'm noticing it now that I'm editing the video and I realized I didn't say anything about it in the video. So I just want to let you guys know I'm okay. It's fine. My eye's totally fine now. I don't know why it was so red. But yeah, I hope it's not too distracting and just pretend like you don't see it. Thank you. If you're comparing this with the Haus Labs Shaping Balm, I would say this one is a little bit more pigmented on me. The texture is really different because the Haus Labs one has more of like a glassy finish. It definitely looks a little glossy on the skin even once you've blended it out. But with this Vive Silhouette Stick, I feel like the formula isn't as glossy. It definitely has a more matte finish. So it doesn't reflect light. And I feel like if you're contouring your face, you don't really want it to look reflective. That just kind of breaks the illusion of the contour, whereas this kind of has more of a believable shadowy look. But I still really like the House Labs one. I feel like that one's great for like an everyday or like a more natural sculpted look, whereas this is a little bit more hardcore. Next we have the Victoria Beckham Color Wash Bronze Water Tint. I used the blush tint in my last video, and I've been testing out this bronzer tint in between filming that video and this video, and I really like it. I already filmed a reel using both products, so if you're interested in like a standalone review of this product, you can go watch that. But this bronzer, the packaging is not ideal. I'm definitely not the first one to say that because I've heard it online already, but the product itself is beautiful. Like, it's such an easy product to work with. I feel like because it's so liquidy, it looks so scary in the bottle. It definitely is quite intimidating, but once you blend it out onto the skin and you actually wear it, it looks so natural. And it's not like the Benefit Benetint where it stains the spot where you apply it onto your skin. You actually have a lot of play time so you can blend it out before it fully sets, and it just gives you this wash of color. And this is exactly what I want a bronzer to look like on my skin. Like, I don't want it to look like makeup. I want it to look like I actually have this warm sunlit glow on my skin, you know? But yeah, this packaging, it's really hard for me to dispense the product while also like, oh my God. It's kind of hard to do the dropper at the same time as like donning it on my skin. I've actually never tried putting this on the back of my hand and then picking it up with the brush. Maybe that's the way to go, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it. But it's okay. It's still really easy to work with. You just have to be a little bit careful about the dropper. Don't drop it onto your clothes because I feel like it won't come out easily. Just remember to blend it into your hairline, especially if you're tying your hair back, because that will just make the bronze look a little bit more believable. I always take whatever's left and then rub it on my chin and also on the bridge of my nose. My blush today is going to be a powder blush, so I'm going to do this after I've set my skin. But we do have a highlighter today that I want to use, and this is the Hourglass Unreal Liquid Highlighter. This is in the shade Divine. I'm going to shake it up, and then I'm going to disperse 1 drop of this on the back of my hand, and I'm just picking it up with this highlighter brush from Real Techniques, and I'm just going to pat this right on top of my cheekbones. I have used this a couple of times already since receiving it in PR, and it's definitely a very easy liquid highlighter to use. I feel like sometimes liquid highlighters can really pick up on the texture of your cheeks. This one doesn't do that. I feel like it just adds this beautiful glossy glow to the skin. There's no chunks of glitter that I've noticed, so it doesn't settle into your pores. And it just leaves the skin looking so glossy and glowy. I love it. I've also been pairing it with the Hourglass Liquid Blush. I feel like the two formulas work really well together. Just to brighten up my under eyes a little bit, I'm going to take my Hourglass Vanish Concealer and I'm just going to add a tiny dot under my eyes. And then I'm taking my foundation brush and I'm just going to blend this. Sometimes using a larger brush like this just creates a more diffused look under the eye so it doesn't look so stark. And because we're using the foundation brush, I feel like it just helps to blend everything a little bit better like this, yeah. Now I'm taking my concealer pencil. You guys know I love to use this. So I'm just going to do the pinpoint concealing technique and I am going to conceal any little blemishes that I have. Now that my skin is all perfected, I'm going to take my powder for the day. This is the Makeup Forever HD Skin Perfecting Pressed Powder in the shade 1.1 Light. This is what it looks like. It comes with a little powder puff. I'm not going to be using this today because I actually want to test out the Huda Beauty powder puff that I also got in PR. I've never really used powder puffs like this because, I don't know, I just prefer a powder brush, but I'm a little curious to try this. And I just realized that this actually has 2 sides. So one side is actually like a furry texture and the other side is more like a smooth sponge. I don't really know which side I'm supposed to use. I guess I'll just use the spongy side because it's already set to this side, so maybe it's supposed to be the side. I'm just tapping it. I feel like tapping it is fine. I feel like if I drag it on the powder, it'll probably pick up too much. Okay, and then I'm gonna use it. I'm just going to tap this under my eyes, down onto the front of my cheeks, the sides of my nose. Oh, wait, I'm coming up close so you can see this better. But look at this side. You can still see so much of the texture on my pores, but this side looks completely airbrushed. Like it looks like I put a filter on my skin. I don't normally get this kind of an effect when I'm using my brush to apply the powder, so maybe this is what I've been missing out on this whole time. Yeah, that's crazy. This is what I've been missing out on. Why did I not use a puff earlier? Maybe I don't need this for every day, but for special occasions, I feel like I have to start using a puff now. This is making my skin look insane. And then with whatever's left on the sponge, I'm just going to tap this on my cheeks because we still have to apply blush. But guys, look at my skin. Like it actually just erased all the texture from my face. Okay, so moving on to blush. This is the MAC Blush Baby Skin Finish Color Struck Blush. It looks like the perfect cool toned pink. I purposely wore my light summer blue top just to go with this slightly more cool toned makeup look that we're doing today. That looks so pretty. I'm just making sure to tap off the excess because sometimes with powder blush, when you put a little too much, you can't really go back. Like it's hard to fix it. If you go in with a little too much cream blush, you can always use your foundation brush and blend it out. Wow, this color is so cute. It definitely looks like I'm just blushing. I love it. Okay, now moving on to the brows. Nothing new for the brows today, so I'm just going to use my Judy Doll brow pencil. And I'm just adding a little bit of color and shape to my brows, brushing them out. And then now it's time to have a little bit of fun with this Natasha Denona Luxe Glam Compact in the shade Rosy. I don't normally go for pinky eyeshadows just because I gravitate towards more like browns and more neutral shades, but that's probably a little boring. So let's try some of these shades together. I'm gonna try this pinky shade first. I'm also using these new Rephr eyeshadow brushes that they sent me. I'm so excited because Rephr just arrived in Sephora Hong Kong and I finally touched these brushes with my own hands. I feel like I've been seeing other people use these brushes for the longest time on YouTube and on Instagram. And in case you didn't know, Rephr actually utilizes their community a lot when they design their brushes. So they'll release a brush and then have people test it out for a really discounted price. I don't think it's free, or maybe it is, but it's like at a very discounted price for you to try it for the first time. And the only reason the price is so low is because you have to provide feedback on the brush. And based on that feedback, they'll sometimes make changes to the brushes. I just love that it's very collaborative with their actual customers. So the end product is always something that is useful and beautifully designed, thoughtfully designed. Yeah, I just love that idea. Anyway, the one that I'm using right now is the 01 brush. And I'm just creating a soft base with this color all over the lids. And then I'm gonna go in with this slightly more reflective shade. This doesn't look like this eyeshadow, which is very reflective, but this has more of like a metallic base. And the shade is a little bit more golden. I'm just gonna use my finger. That is also metallic. Wait, I wasn't expecting this eyeshadow to be so reflective. That's really pretty though, once I've blended it out. That's stunning. I'm basically focusing it right above my pupil, as you can see. So when I blink, you get this flash of reflectiveness. And then along the upper lash line, I just want to add a little bit of definition because I'm not going to go in with any eyeliner today. So I'm going to use this Chanel eyeshadow brush. It's a very small brush, and then I'm just going to pick up this deeper shade right here. It's kind of like a bricky brown shade with a hint of rosiness to it, and I'm just going to run this along my lashes. Also, so far so good with the fallout. There's actually no fallout at all, just like that. It's super subtle, but I feel like it'll just give my eyes a little bit more definition. And then I think I'm gonna keep my lashes straighter today. Like I'm actually not gonna curl them. I kind of like the way that my eyes are looking right now. Like it'll allow my eyeshadow to stand out a little bit more. So I'm just going to add mascara right now. The one I'm using is the BB Extreme Mascara. And this just helps to lengthen my lashes and add a little bit of volume at the same time. It never looks clumpy. I want a very clean lash. I think sometimes when I have my hair tied back like this and a lot of the focal point is on my makeup, I don't like it to be too heavy. And I'm honestly not really doing much today. I'm spending most of the day at home and then I have dinner with my grandma. So moving on to the lips, I have a lip combo in mind. I don't really know if it's going to work, but basically it consists of the Violette Lip Nectar in the shade Rose de Mauve, and then the Rhode Peptide Lip Shape in the shade Lunge, and also this new MAC lip gloss cushion in the shade Sugar Rimmed. Super pretty. I feel like this lip gloss has to be on my lips today because it's just going to match with this whole glowy, reflective makeup look that we're going for right now. And then maybe I'll start with this Rhode lip shape and just kind of line my lips. I recently saw this video of Mary Phillips, who always does the Kardashian and Jenner makeup looks and also Hailey Bieber's makeup all the time, teaching her lip lining technique, and it's pretty much to follow the actual lines of your lips, but then at the center of your lips, so right at the Cupid's bow, you overline right there, and then you drag it back down to meet your natural lip line. And that's what gives you this extremely pouty but still natural lip look. And then under the lip here, you can overline a little bit, but then join it up with your natural lip lines on the side, and it'll give you lip filler allegations. So how do my lips look? I think it looks really pretty. Not me answering my own question, but I'm now just gonna add some of this Violette Lip Nectar right in the center of my lips. And then now I'm going to take a tissue and dab off most of the color from my lips. But the lip tint will have left a stain, so you still get a little bit of that color. And now we're gonna go in with the MAC Lip Glass Cushion. I just love the smell of MAC lip products because it reminds me of watching my mom get ready for the office every day. She always used MAC lip products and I would always take it from her makeup stash and smell the lipsticks or try to apply that myself. And I still remember one time taking one of my mom's lipsticks, putting it in my pocket and bringing it to school and then forgetting about it. So then it melts all over my pants and in my pocket. And then by the time I get home, I just remember getting in trouble for ruining my uniform. Okay, the effect on my lips is a little less juicy and reflective than I expected, but it's still really pretty. And this is it. This is the finished look using all the new products that I recently received. I feel like the instant hits and products that I'll definitely be adding into my everyday makeup routine and my lineup are the Makeup Forever powder. I was so impressed with the way this powder just smoothed everything out. It could be because of this puff, but this puff is also something new that I recently received. I definitely will be using more puffs in my makeup routine because I just feel like my skin looks so smooth and so flawless. I feel like this bronzer tint, now that I'm looking at my makeup, it looks a little bit patchy. Now that everything's, you know, melted together, it's been on my face for at least like 30 minutes now that I'm looking at the time. It looks a little bit patchy. And I don't know if it's because of this foundation. My foundation still looks a little bit dry around my nose. I'll come up close. It's just around my nose where it looks dry. On my cheeks and on my forehead, everything looks good in terms of the foundation. Even on my chin, it looks a little bit dry. Can you see that? I think I have to keep testing out this foundation. I mean, I have high hopes because I really like Makeup Forever's complexion products. You guys know this. I use their products all the time in my routines and in my videos, but we'll see. I'll keep testing this out. Maybe I have to prime my skin a little bit more. I feel like this is the first video that I've done on my YouTube where I didn't prime my skin because this foundation claims to balance your skin for you. So you don't really need to prime or you don't need other products. I will try to let you guys know my thoughts on this as I continue to test it out. But this bronzer, I've used this without the foundation and it looks perfect on me. So I feel like the reason why it might look a little bit patchy on screen today is because of the foundation. Maybe in my next video, I'll try to use this without a foundation just so you guys can see what it looks like. So yeah, I like this on most days. Today, it doesn't look so hot. This highlighter, I feel like it definitely did its job. It doesn't accentuate texture. That's a win for me. Do you need to go out and buy this? Probably not, unless you're actually looking for a specific new liquid highlighter. But will I be telling all of my friends to buy this? No. But if they're looking for a good liquid highlighter, sure. I really like the blush that I used today, but it's still just a powder blush. Like if you're looking for a new powder blush, I would say definitely try to check out these new Skin Finish Color Struck blushes from MAC. MAC does their color products really, really well. I don't think there's a MAC product out there that I'm like, I'd pass. So far, no. Like I feel like everything that I've tried from MAC, I really love. But there's nothing super special about this blush. So unless there's like a shade that you're looking for that they have in this blush, maybe add it to your list for your next powder blush, but it's not something you have to immediately go out and try. And same with these eyeshadows. I'm actually in love with the way my eyes are looking today. Like that reflective shade definitely shocked me, but I feel like the finished effect is just beautiful. And it just adds this nice luminosity to my eyes, and the pinkness actually ties everything in with like my cheeks and my lips. It's actually very pretty. For my lips, I've been loving a glittery gloss lately. I've also been using this Dior, I used it in my last video, this Dior Glass Finish lipstick in the shade Gem Dior. That one's really pretty and I love using it as like a top coat for my lip colors. I feel like this is pretty much the same thing, but in like lip gloss form. I would say if you don't have a sparkly gloss, definitely try a sparkly gloss because you'll be feeling so pretty and fabulous in your sparkly gloss. And especially when you're touching up, when you're out and about, you definitely feel really good about yourself. And I feel really good about myself when I'm reapplying it. The Vive Silhouette Stick, definitely a hit. I just love the way that this shades my face and it adds this dimension that still looks natural. And it also stays on for a very long time because it has a nice soft matte finish on my skin, so it sets down. And that is it. Everything else is tried and true favorites in my routine or just products that I've had for a while, so it's not necessarily new. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was so much fun getting ready with you, and let me know if there are any new products that you're also interested in me trying out, and I will speak to you guys next time. Bye!